Hey there, welcome in. I have no clue how it this what brought the X1 car. Hello, Iceblade. How well can you hear me? I suppose that you can hear me only on one ear. Is that correct? Also, how much echo is there in the room? Right channel only. Yeah, I can see that. I'm not sure how echo noticeable, but not bad. This room is there's nothing in this. Don't say. Um, I'm not sure how to fix the channel only. I have a I have an idea, but reprogram my receiver. I have had setting this up even work somehow. I'm not sure. Noise gate seems low. Half of here. Oh, okay. And you that the thing is the microphone is not me here. It is what it is. Noise gate. How does it work now? I think my spikes are spiking faster now. The thing is, I don't think I need noise gate in this room. There isn't any noise here actually. What if I disable noise gate? Okay, I have completely killed noise gate right now, so it should pick up all of the volume that I'm talking, even the tiny low volume like I'm doing right now. So that should be fine. I don't think I need noise gate here. You hear whisper? Okay. Um, yeah, I don't know how to handle the how to handle mono. Right now, can you hear me now? Oh shit, it's working. I think I found the solution. I think I found the solution, but a couple of minutes ago, this same button didn't do what it was supposed. Oh, stereo, yeah. It's not stereo, it's still mono, but on both ears at once. So much better. Okay. Let me see how I can set up this computer to middle click to disable automatic sleep and screen locking. Okay, that's what I need on this laptop. How is the battery? Battery status unclear. I only have one charger and two laptops and one phone, and it's not very good, but it should be fine. Okay, modern C. Okay, let me switch to my other screen here. That's what my screen looks like. My mouse isn't working on this table very well. Okay, that's going to be fun. That is going to be fun. Let's remember, what was it? What was my IP address for that? Good evening, Olga Katani. I'm streaming from my village over my phone and over my laptop, and I have a completely new setup, and if something is not working properly, I'm sorry. Also, I'm not streaming to Twitch today. Maybe someone can call Alexei and tell him on Matrix that I will not be streaming on Twitch today because I'm afraid of straining my Intel integrated graphics to encode video twice. I just don't think that this laptop can handle two streams at once. NVIDIA can do that, no problem, but this laptop, I don't think so. History. So the IP was 232. Okay, SSH. Actually, let's do Mosh. 99232. Will that work? Maybe not. Let's do SSH. Is this thing on? Very low noise. Have to push volume to max. Is it very low noise or very low volume of my voice? If it's just my voice, I can fix that. Let's put some gain up. Volume of my voice. Yeah, okay, let's put some gain up here. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. I have boosted my voice quite a lot. Now it should be really loud. Now it should be really loud, and you guys will tell me if it's loud enough and how, like, is there any distortion? Too loud? You guys go ahead and make up your minds. Like one of you is going to have to increase the volume and the other one is going to have to decrease the volume, I think, because my VU meter is going to yellow, so I don't think it's too loud. I don't think it's too loud. I think you, Iceblade, have turned up your volume previously too high. As long as this thing is not going to red, I think it's fine. But let's wait for a third participant, and then we will decide if it's too loud or not. How bad is the noise around me now, like the room echo and stuff like that? Echo is okay. Okay. LPIC demo. Let's see what the IP is right now. The IP seems to be 235. Let's try that one. 235. Oh, okay. It's that one. Seems Rootlex is not joining today. Did he say that? Did he say that he will not be joining, or you just don't see him joined just yet? Because usually I would stream to Twitch for him. I'm just not sure if this graphics card can handle streaming. He will not join the YouTube stream. Okay. Let me ask. Where's my text? Okay. Let's see what he says. My mouse requires a different pad. Let's try this paper here. Okay, this paper is a better mouse pad than the table. I'm just waiting for his reply to see if I'm going to attempt Twitch or not. I think it will not work, but honestly, I never tried to. Let me try and see what happens. Okay, so all I need to do is click this button here and see what happens. Oops, it didn't work. Start the stream and nope, it's not even starting. Output settings, Twitch output, Twitch stream key, Twitch server. There isn't anything to set up here. Vertical canvas, help, support, general, main output. Oh, there is some settings. Video encoder, quick sync hefts. Let's go with okay, let's leave it at 5000 here. 30 FPS. Audio settings. I suppose I can leave all that as is. Let's try now. Okay, Twitch seems to be starting. I don't see my CPU spiking. Oh, that's my CPU usage 15%, 20%, 22, 23, 12. I don't know, maybe it's fine. Oh, do you have good internet there? Yeah, that's That's a good question. I have 20 megabits max. I am streaming 6 Mbps to YouTube and 5 Mbps to Twitch now. Join and see what it looks like. Let's go back to OBS. So OBS says I have only 11 dropped frames to YouTube. I don't think this is measuring my Twitch stream, which is secondary. You guys on YouTube tell me if the if YouTube stream has any issues. Let me just set up my chat. Am I live streaming on Twitch or not? Apparently I am, but I don't see it. Yeah, I have on my other laptop, it seems that I'm not streaming. I don't know what to do. I don't think there is enough time for troubleshooting this. Let's stop the stream and maybe start it once again, just to check it out. Okay, start again. The green light should mean that stream is working. But I'm checking my Twitch webpage, nothing is happening. Now this shouldn't be due to encoder settings or anything like that. I just don't know. Output settings. Rate control, constant bit rate, medium quality. I don't know. Oh, that's a car. Where's my mouse? There it is. Stream seems fine so far on YouTube. I see Twitch as offline. Yeah, I know. New follower, nice. I feel like my YouTube stream is very delayed. That's odd. Okay, let's see one more thing. Just one more thing. Okay, let's go to this page here. I have never tried streaming on this. Let's see if I can set this up in a minute. Live. I don't know how this even works. Publish. Go live. Okay. Stream only once. Okay, go live. Maybe hide screens so you don't show stream key or something. Stream key should be hidden. If it's shown, I'm just gonna regenerate it. Don't worry about it. Privacy, public, category, language, whatever, use chat. Save. Success. I don't get it. How does this work? Watch the video. Huh. But yeah, I need a stream key somewhere. Settings. No, not settings. Videos. More. Comments. Whatever. Channels. Manage the channel. Editors. These are people. Activity. Created video live. Okay, live. What is this? Chat. Share chat link. Moderator. Online help. Close chat. Configure. Configuration. Log into PeerTube to find. Don't bother. If it doesn't work, then then it's useless. Configuration for B77. What is this? This is like a chat room or something. So where's the stream key? How to stream to PeerTube. PeerTube's live streaming. Okay, live streaming, transcoding, whatever. Alexa, alright, YouTube has worked for a minute without buffering, so maybe it will work out well enough here. Okay, I was just checking how to stream on PeerTube. Live settings, copy, server. Okay, what's the stream key? Oh, the other one. I didn't see where that was. Like videos. Oh, the live one. Okay, manage. Live settings. Okay, so here is the live stream key. Let's try this just once. Okay. Add output. Other service. peer tube server. Oh shit, that's not going to work. That port is not open on my firewall. Yeah, that's not happening now. I can configure this, but it takes a bit of time. It takes a little bit of time. I just don't want to do that right now. You're going to be waiting for a long time for me to configure the firewall. Alexei seems to still be here. Okay, let's see. Let's see how this works out. It works so far, so I don't know. Where is my pop-out chat? Did this work? I have too many issues today. Just a sec. I need to lower the resolution of my preview. You see the reason for all the issues? You're not wearing your... Oh, right. I actually brought it with me, and I forgot to take it into this room. Let me order one hat over my phone. Okay. I have ordered one hat. Let's see the state of the battery. Oh, okay, that battery is fine. Let's charge this laptop instead. I have two. Okay, that was quite a lot of time wasted, and I'm sorry I came into this room like 45 minutes earlier to set up the stream, and it took me an hour and half. No, more. It took me, I don't know, like let's say an hour and a half to set up the stream. Which resolution am I even streaming? That's a good question. Oh. That's not good. 1080p, yeah. That's not exactly good. Can you tell me? I might need to change that. Getting started, the principal. Can you tell me how sharp is this text? Because 1080p is not my native resolution. I have 1200p on this screen, and I'm streaming the entire screen, so it could be a little bit blurry. Fine for me. Okay, let me just double check this one. Transform. There's text. Dobrý den. Ní. Da. Okay. Okay. Delivery service is good, probably quite expensive. What do you guys see on your screens right now? Because in my YouTube preview, I can see my terminal on the screen, and my terminal hasn't been on the screen for a long time. But the aspect ratio is a bit off. Okay, no terminal. At this font size, don't need my glasses. Okay. PDF. Can you type hello, Northern Chimp? Okay. Okay, let me. I see some guy in a. Okay. Give me just a little bit to reconfigure the resolution. Okay, the fun part is I have no idea how to make my screen 16 by 10. So I'm back with the same resolution. It's actually too hot under this fucking hat. Okay, let's do something. Does YouTube even YouTube supports anything? YouTube supports whatever resolution you want, but I need to find out how to properly set it up in OBS. I know it's possible, but it's just, you know, a delay on delay on delay on delay with my stream, and it's not doing us any good. Okay. One more time. If anything is wrong, like sound, echo, any other kind of garbage, let me know. And in the meantime, the principal, do I have like 4 minutes? If you need to go to piss, go piss. Do you mean I should stall for 4 more minutes? I can always stall. I think not. I would love to make the resolution native if I knew how. No stalls. Base canvas. Output scaled. I don't know. I changed this by hand, but it wasn't right. Something was terribly wrong. Okie dokie. The principal structure of a program. This section covers the grammar, declaring identifiers, defining objects, instructing the compiler with statements. Compared to our little examples, if your layout looks distorted, right-click on your video source game capture in the preview, select transform and fit to screen. The thing is, this is my screen capture, right? Yeah, this is my screen capture. It's not OLED anymore, it's a laptop screen. And transform, it's locked. No, it's not locked. Transform, fit to screen. Fit to screen, stretch to screen. I mean, fit to screen is going to crop something for sure. Oh, it's narrower. It's narrower now. What do you think about this? Okay, so fit to screen made it a little bit different. I don't think this is perfect either, but it's a bit different now. What do you think? Looks better to me. Looks correct. As long as it's not blurry, I'm happy. Okay, I even have, I can deal with it, looks correct, okay. I even have an idea to push my image and the chat into the black area. But that's a lot of tinkering. Compared to our little examples in the previous section, real programs will be more complicated and contain additional constructs. That would be even better. Okay. Somewhere here. Chat properties. Let's make it. What is the difference between 10? Okay, let's put it like 350. I don't know. 350. For the chat. Janus X, good morning. 360. Preparing for a long session. That's like perfect, no? You guys tell me. I am going to try to do some work now. So if it looks good on your end, very nice, very nice, very nice. Ah, I forgot where my camera is. Okay. Chat is a little low. um, we don't have enough black bars. Um, is this fine? I mean, now the chat is entering uh, over the content. I believe it's fine. Okay. Compared to our little examples in the previous section, real programs will be more complicated and contain additional constructs, but their structure will be very similar. Listing 1.1 already has most of the structural elements of a C program. Where's my just a second, my reading highlighter. Why is my interface different than the usual? Text selection, Control 4. Toolbars. Oh, that's text selection. Okay. It's not set up as I have it at home. Anyways. Listing 1.1 already has most of the structural elements of a C program. There are two categories of aspects to consider in a C program. Syntactical aspects. How do we specify the program so the compiler understands it? Okay, so the syntax. And semantic aspects. What do we specify so that program does what we want it to do? In the following subsections, we will introduce the syntactical aspects, so the grammar, and three different semantic aspects. Declarative parts, what things are, definitions of objects, where things are, and statements, what things are supposed to do. So a little bit about grammar here. Looking at its overall structure, we can see that a C program is composed of different types of text elements that are assembled in a kind of grammar. Where is 1.1 example? Am I blind? Where is example 1.1? I expected it just a little bit below. Yes, I went into my previous lesson. Listing 1. Okay, so you can click on it. I know, but I'm afraid it will take me where I don't know. Okay, let's click it. Yeah, it goes back. It goes back to the previous lesson. Okay, so I believe most of you pretty much remember what it looked like from the last time. So I can continue reading without going back to showing this part of the code. We have been here. Oh shit, my laptop is burning a little bit, although it says only 45 degrees. That's odd. Let's put it to power profile balanced. Hopefully this will not disturb the encoding. Yeah, the temperature is already dropping. Good. These elements are as follows. Special words. In listing 1.1, we used the following special words. Hash include, int. Did we really do that? 45 certainly shouldn't be red. No, it's red all the time. It's red all the time. I didn't program the colors. It's just always red. But I can hear the fan. The fan usually doesn't kick in on this laptop, so it surprised me that I can hear the fan. But probably the GPU is working more than the usual, so it's all good. 44, it's nice. It's actually quite hot in this room, so it's holding up pretty well. We use the following special words: include, int, maybe unused, car, void, double for, and return. In program text in this book, most of them will be printed in black bold. These special words represent concepts and features that the C language imposes and that cannot be changed. Punctuation. C uses several types of punctuation to structure the program text. There are 6 kinds of brackets. The curly braces or brackets, normal brackets, or whatever these are called. Let's call them normal for now until someone in chat corrects me. Square brackets, double square brackets, comments with the slash and what is the other word for the star? Asterisk. And the greater than brackets. Iceblade says odd, I thought included did not work with multiple spaces. I don't know what you mean. Bracket group certain parts of the program together and should always come in pairs. Fortunately, the greater than and lesser than brackets are rare in C and are only used as shown in our example on the same logical line of text. The other 5 are not limited to a single line. Their contents might span several lines, as they did when we used printf earlier. Where did they use the greater than and lesser than? As shown in our example. Maybe that was in 1.1. Let me see what was the nano num. No, that's not the one. Nano distro. I'm just trying to remember what we even did last time. Nano, me, nothing in here. Iceblade says something that I have already read. Okay, good. I don't know where they say like shown in our example. I don't suppose this is an example. This doesn't look like an example. C programming greater than braces example. In C programming, the greater than operator is used to compare two values. For example, an extension. No, that's not what I wanted. Include. Oh, okay. Good one. Good one. Thank you, Golga Katani. The other 5, okay. There are two different separators or terminators, comma and semicolon. When we used printf, commas separated the 4 arguments of that function. On line 12, we saw that a comma also can follow the last element of a list of elements. So, like that. And it's good that they have repeated this example so that I don't have to rewind through the book. So once again, on line 12, we saw that a comma can follow the last element of a list of elements. Good. One of the difficulties for newcomers to see is that the same punctuation characters are used to express different concepts. For example, the pairs curly braces and square brackets are each used for 3 different purposes in listing 1.1. One more time. That's not the example. This one is not an example as well. Okay, never mind. I guess I didn't save it. Takeaway. Punctuation characters can be used for several different purposes. Okay, I think this is clear enough without the need to go back to the code example. The construct for the comment that we saw earlier tells the compiler that everything inside it is a comment. So please ignore this part. Okay, that's the comment. Comments are ignored by the compiler, so it is the perfect place to explain and document your code. Such in-place documentation can and should greatly improve the readability and comprehensibility of your code. Another form of comment is the so-called C++ style comment, as on line 15. These are marked with 2 forward slashes in a row, which is a C++ style comments extend from the double slash to the end of the line. So it is a single line comment. Now literals. Our program contains several items that refer to fixed values that are part of the program. 0, 1, 3, 4, 5, 9.0, 2.9, 3.e plus 25, and point 0.00007. And the final one, element, okay, I have no clue how to read this. These are called literals. Most common use case for comments is fix this before we ship. You know, Iceblade, I have just a small story to tell. It was, I believe, a year ago. I think it was a year ago, or maybe it was two. I was on a presentation, like a live presentation. What was the name? The guy from idsoft, John, not Carmack, Romero. Okay, so John Romero was presenting, let's say, his life. He has been talking for quite a long time, and he started from the very beginnings of his adult life, and also about his kid life, and all the way up to the end, where he is right now. But what I remembered from his speech, like what really got me, uh, in a good way, and it's kind of fitting for this live stream. He said that in idsoft, when they were making games such as the uber popular Doom, the way that they programmed games was that they would start implementing parts of the game and they would test it immediately as they have been programming it, right? So as they created anything new in the game, they would test it immediately, and immediately they would notice some bugs, and they would never advance in coding more of the game before they would fix the bugs that they are already aware of. So basically, whenever they would continue uh, programming more of the game, there would always be zero known bugs in the game because the team wasn't all that big. It was a rather small team. I think he said like 4 or 5 people in the beginning. But whoever noticed anything that would be characterized as a bug, they would be fixing it immediately, and it would never be left for later, you know. So that was kind of their motto how games are being made. So basically, when they would reach um, when they would finish the game, it would already be as bug free as they wanted it to be. I kind of like that approach. I don't think that's possible in a huge development environment, you know, like AAA studios, Sony, Microsoft, whatever. But smaller teams, I, I think it's doable and quite a good way to work on your code. Identifiers are names that we or the C standard give to certain entities in the program. Here we have A, I, main, printf, size underscore t, and exit success. Identifiers can play different roles in a program. Among other things, they may refer to data objects such as A and I. These are also referred to as variables. Okay, that's the end of the sentence. Type aliases such as size underscore t. that specify the kind of a new object. Here of I, observe the trailing underscore t in the name. This naming convention is used by the C standard to remind you that the identifier refers to a type. Iceblood says, yeah, I don't think that style would work on AAA because other team might be deadlocked for non-existent function even for bug-free. Uh, yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. Uh, Big team in Croatia, we have a saying. Let me not make a mistake. Puno baba, kilavo dite. Literally translated to English, lots of grannies. Um, that's hard to translate. Let me try. Let me try. Sickly child. Similar to many chefs, one pot. It could be. It could be. We have too many cooks spoil the broth. Yeah, I suppose we could use that, and everyone in Croatia would understand it when translated to Croatian. It's just that this particular one with babas, grandmothers, that one is the one that we actually use. Okay, so with underscore t, that's a type. Functions such as main and printf, constants such as exit success. So I'm just gonna stop here for a moment. What I personally have small struggles with is hard English definitions of stuff because I'm not used to programming. So when you tell me data objects is capital A, small I, it takes a little bit. It will take a little bit of hands-on experience before I can digest the term data objects, and type. What the hell is a type? I can imagine what a type is, but I don't. I never used the term out loud because I never really talked to anyone about programming. So whatever I did with programming so far, it was all like in my head because as I was mostly self-taught up until now, I would simply look at the examples and draw some conclusions why this works. And I would never really think about that something is data objects because an example would never tell me I am the data object. I am a type, I would just kind of mumbo jumbo learn it that this fits. Basically, the way I have been learning programming so far, I have been training myself like large language models are being trained. Like these things fit together. It's good. It's good. If you see this, put this behind it. It should be fine. You know. This book is explaining it on a higher level, so this is a little bit of a struggle for me. I guess they will explain this further down the line. I don't. Um, I have no doubt that they will. I'm just saying out loud which stuff is the tipping stone for me. But learning terminology is important because you need to be able to speak the same language with other people. Yeah, exactly that. I agree and understand, and no worries. I am not saying what I'm saying in order to um, find my way out of this and not to learn properly. I'm just expressing myself so that you guys understand where I struggle. So if I fall down, if I trip and fall down somewhere on this stuff that some of you take for granted and I don't, you might understand why. Some things simply take a little bit of time to fit properly. That's all. Okay, let's go with functions. Two of the identifiers refer to functions. Thank you, Iceblade. Main and printf. As we have already seen, printf is used by the program to produce some output. The function main in turn is defined. That is its declaration int main void is followed by a function body indicated by the contents of the curly braces of a compound statement that describes what that function is supposed to do. In our example, this function definition goes from line 6 to 24. Main has a special role in C programs, as we will encounter. It must always be present since it is the starting point of the program's execution. Okay, we are pretty much all aware that main is the starting point of the program's execution. Did anyone understand why does it frequently say C here? Like, is this supposed to tell me that defined is being talked about in the form of a C programming language, and somewhere down the road in this book there might be some C++ code they explained before? Okay, maybe I forgot. Yeah. Just to tell me that we're referring to the C language. Okay. Operators. Of the numerous C operators, our program only uses a few. Equals for initialization and assignment. Lesser than for comparison. Plus plus to increment a variable, to increase its value by 1. And an asterisk or a star to multiply two values. Attributes such as may be unused, so people don't mix it with real definition of the word, so it is a C slang word kind of. Okay. Thank you. Attributes such as may be unused are placed into double square brackets as shown and provide some supplemental information to the principal structure of the program. Just as in natural languages, the lexical elements and the grammar of C programs that we have seen here have to be distinguished from the actual meaning these constructs convey. In contrast to natural languages, this meaning is rigidly specified and usually leaves no room for ambiguity. In the following subsections, we will dig into the three main semantic categories that C distinguishes: declarations, definitions, statements. You should follow footnotes. The one that is coming. You mean this footnote. The one that says C23. Go to page 22. It kind of went to the next page. Attributes such as may be unused are placed into double square brackets as shown as shown here, and provide some supplemental information to the principal structure of the program. C23. Sorry, when I click it, it moves a little bit. Give me just a second to fix something. There is a crop function somewhere. Trim margins. Okay, that's what I wanted. Golga Katani is asking, it means it's implemented in C23. I would say so, but that's why we clicked on it to see what's going on. This feature is new in C23, so your compiler might not yet implement it. So definitely the truth. But clicking on it, why did it move to the left? This is so stupid. Fit width. Let's try one more time. I click here. Okay, now it is fine. Okay. Uh, this link here is a little bit weird. I'm not sure where it leads exactly, or maybe it's this example or something, but let's read the rest of the text and we are on the next page anyway. Should read footnote first. Yeah, it's fine. Just as in natural languages, the lexical elements and the grammar of C programs that we have seen here have to be distinguished from the actual meaning these constructs convey. Just a reminder that attributes in double square brackets will not work in older standards, which is important. Okay. In contrast to natural languages, this meaning is rigidly specified and usually leaves no room for ambiguity. I know I have read this already. In the following subsections, we will dig into the three main semantic categories that C distinguishes: declarations, definitions, and statements. So let's start with declarations. Before we may use a particular identifier in a program, we have to give the compiler a declaration that specifies what that identifier is supposed to represent. In this way, identifiers differ from keywords. Keywords are predefined by the language and must not be declared or redefined. All identifiers in a program have to be declared. Several of the identifiers we use are effectively declared in our program main. argc, argv, capital A, and I. Later on, we will see where the other identifiers, printf, size underscore t, and exit success come from. We already mentioned the declaration of the main function. All five declarations in isolation as declarations only look like this. Okay, so we have int main with int char. I keep forgetting. I think Alexei last time said don't worry about the asterisk here just yet. Int argc may be unused. Another char argv double a5 size underscore t is I. This is rather difficult to read out loud, so I'm not even sure if I should even attempt to read this out loud. It's kind of annoying to hear myself even try to say these things, but it's perfectly visible on the screen, so I think that's fine. These five declarations follow a pattern. Each has an identifier, main, argc, argv, a or I, and a specification of certain properties that are associated with that identifier, because helps with remembering syntax. Okay. I is of type size underscore t. Also helps sizeblade. Okay, I will do better then. argc is of type int. You no doubt heard the dog. And again. Let me know if you want me to enable the noise gate. Okay, argc is of type int. Main is additionally followed by parentheses and thus declares a function of type int. There is no one true way of saying those, so say them as you feel comfortable. Okay, thank you. I will probably play around with words a little bit until I figure out what makes more sense. Capital A is followed by brackets, by square brackets, and thus declares an array. An array is an aggregate of several items of the same type. Here it consists of 5 items of type double. These 5 items are ordered and can be referred to by numbers called indices from 0 to 4. Okay, so the double has 5 indices starting with the 0 position. argv is also followed by brackets. Okay, so here it is. I can't keep it on the screen, and the text is also followed by brackets, so it also has the properties of an array. The attribute may be unused indicates that it is possibly unused, and indeed we don't see the word argv elsewhere in this program code. There are argc plus 1 elements of a type denoted by char asterisk. Each of these declarations start with a type. Here, int, char asterisk, double, and size underscore t. We will see later what that represents. For the moment, it is sufficient to know that it specifies that 4 of the identifiers, main, argc, a and I, when used in the context of a statement, will provide some sort of numbers. For the other, argv, the asterisk at the end of char indicates that it is a pointer. That it is a pointer. Okay, there is a semicolon. So like a new sentence. Pointers, though a principal feature of the C language, will only appear much later in this book. The declarations of argc, I and A declare variables, which are named items that allow us to store values. They are best visualized as a kind of box that may contain a something of a particular type. So a couple of examples here. argc, integer, and like question marks. So we have to fill something in there. I, size underscore t, with some question marks as well. Capital A, which is like 5 pieces of array that is type double. I think I said it properly. conceptually, it is important to distinguish the box itself, the object, the specification, its type, the box contents, its value, and the name or label that is written on the box, the identifier. Iceblade says that he did not know an array of integers would be a double. It wouldn't be a double. We simply defined it as double. In this example. Now I'm not sure who is Alexei responding to, me or Iceblade. Iceblade, if you remember from the example above, the capital A, me misunderstanding, then I guess it is as I remember. Yeah, so if you remember from the example above, before I scroll up, it was defined as double and capital A and number 5 in square brackets. So if number 5 in square brackets, then obviously we have 5 pieces of something. But since we defined it as double, well, it's 5 pieces of double. So I think that's even clear to me by now. Yeah, but let me just rewind a little bit. Okay, follow the mouse. I don't want to select it because I want my selection to remain where it is now. So that's it. We defined it as double, and we have an array, and this is it. Conceptually, it is important to distinguish the box itself, the object, the specification, its type, the box contents, its value, and the name or label that is written on the box, the identifier. My mouse got really big, yeah. It's easier to see the mouse when it's a little bit bigger. Let me just move the laptop a little bit because I keep reading the text in this direction because that's where my second laptop is. But then I realized that my camera is here and I moved the laptop behind the camera. Now it's a little bit more natural because I'm now reading your text there, and now I'm looking at the camera and it's not that far away. It should be much better. When I lift my eyes up, it's usually when I'm reading text at the chat. Okay, in such diagrams, we put double question marks if we don't know the actual value of an item. For the other 3 identifiers, printf, size underscore t, and exit success, we don't see any declarations. They are in fact pre-declared identifiers. However, as we saw when we tried to compile a listing 1.2, that's the one that was bad. The information about these identifiers doesn't come out of nowhere. We have to tell the compiler where it can obtain information about them. This is done right at the start of a program. In lines 2 and 3, printf is provided by including the stdio.h. Is this read like standard input output? Or should I just read it as stdio? Okay, so printf is provided by standard IO, okay, where read as you want, okay, whereas size underscore t and exit success come from standard library. The real declarations of these identifiers are specified in .h files with these names somewhere on your computer. They could be something like int printf char const format static 1 in square brackets, etc. Type def unsigned long size underscore t define exit success 0. Because the specifics of these pre-declared features are of minor importance, this information is normally hidden from you in the include files or header files. My apologies, but I'm really cooking under this hat, and I don't really want my brain to cook. Not really. What is the temperature outside anyway? The temperature is 28 right now. A car. Just check something. Ne treba? Pizza arriving? No, unfortunately, it's the neighbor who is honking to his father, mother, something, waiting for them to open his gates of the house so that he can park his car without exiting the car. And the gates are manual, so he's being lazy and he is honking. Not garage door, like a yard door. How do you say, like, he's just being lazy and waiting for someone else to open the door for his car. I literally looked through my window, yeah. I actually heard a dog squealing when the car honked, and I was afraid that it is... there is one dog that arrived here, like a stray dog, abandoned dog. I don't know. She came like 2 days ago here, and she's not in a good shape. And I fed her and gave her to eat and drink. My mother brushed the dog. It's a big dog, and it's Sunday today, and tomorrow it's a holiday, and I want to take the dog to the vet, and I'm afraid that other people will chase the dog away because people are really bad towards uh, like stray dogs, But it's a very poor dog, and I'm very, very sorry that she's being pushed away everywhere she comes. That's why I bought her food, and in 2 days I'm taking her to the vet. I'm just worried that someone is going to chase her away, and I don't want her to suffer anymore. It's a nice dog. Um, I don't know if you can see this. It's a pretty dog. Strays are more common in that area. I don't know. I only saw one, and it came right to my door. That one. We'll see how it goes with the dog. Okie dokie. And now my dad came, opened the door, and now I have a mosquito here. Oh well. And now we saw house facade in background, so he doxed himself. Last send pizza. Well, if he wants to send me pizza, I am okay with that. But I'm in the middle of a village. Um, I don't think that there is pizza delivery like very far away. Honestly, I don't think there is. I would appreciate a pizza if you can send it. Because this cold pizza even better to serve revenge cold. Okay. Because the specifics of these pre-declared features are of minor importance, this information is normally hidden from you in include files or header files. If you need to know their semantics, it is usually a bad idea to look them up in the corresponding files, as these tend to be barely readable. Instead, search in the documentation that comes with your platform. For the brave, I always recommend a look into the current C standard, as that is where they all come from. For the less courageous, the following commands may help. Apropos printf, actually let's try those at once. Printf, okie dokie. I'm going to zoom into Okay, a little bit more than 80. 26. Okay, we have 26 rows. That should be okay. Okay, apropos printf, defined custom behavior for printf like functions, formatted output conversion, printf format and print data, a lot of nice stuff. Man printf, I'm not sure if this is going to work. Oh, it works, okay. I wasn't sure if everything is installed. Format and print data. Can you hear these voices outside of the house? Man 3 printf. Stvarno?
Ja malo prije vičem žuje I ona veselo mlati, ali neće da mu uđe u auto.
Just a second. I'll be back. This seems important. I'll be back. Pa rekao sam ljudima da pričaju. Rekao sam ljudima da pričaju. Imagine this. Another car. What the fuck? No, it's not story time. It's that apparently the owner of the dog, of the stray dog, has arrived. I suppose someone told him that. I suppose he was looking for his dog, and someone must have told him that the dog has been seen in my street, and he came to pick up the dog, which is, I suppose, good that the owner found the dog. But there are some issues. The dog doesn't have the leash around the neck, so that's red flag number one. Red flag number two, the dog is in a really bad shape, like really bad shape. She had like little dogs, and her. I shouldn't say this. She's damaged, like with blood and stuff. She really needs to go to the vet. And red flag number three, the alleged owner has arrived, opened the trunk of his car, and tried to put the dog in the trunk, and the dog ran away. It's not here anymore. She ran away. That doesn't sound like a happy home, so I'm not sure. We'll see later what can I do about that. Sounds fishy. I don't know. We have a law in Croatia that all dogs need to be chipped. They need to have under skin chip, and I didn't have time to go to the vet yet because the vet doesn't work on Sundays. So I'm not even sure if the dog has a chip, and I don't know. I'm sorry for the dog. If the dog likes to be in my house and doesn't even know me more than it likes to be with the owner. In-ear tattoo, we don't have those. I am inclined to believe that this is his dog. The problem is only how is this dog being treated, because the dog is in a bad shape. So I don't know. Let's go do something. There's nothing I can do about the dog right now unless the dog returns to me. Eyes bled, yes. That's what I want to find out. What is going to happen next? Is this the end of this dog in terms of me? You know, or will the dog keep evading the owner and come back here? I am confused right now, so that's not a good topic. Okie dokie. We have here a couple of ways to get the manual for the printf function, and this is something that we are most probably going to use fairly frequently. If not you, then I will. Alexei thinks the dog will come back to my house. We'll see if the owner catches the dog. My mother told me on the street where the owner is from, and I don't know the place, but it sounded like it's not very near here. like some kilometers away. So my mind is wandering. Sorry, guys. A declaration only describes a feature, and another car is coming. I'm getting confused by this. You know, this is a dead end street, so whenever a car comes, it's like party time. A declaration only describes a feature but does not create it. So repeating a declaration does not do much harm but adds redundancy. I have no clue what you wrote, Iceblade. I'm trying to get back into reading the text, but I'm getting distracted by the dog chase or whatever, I don't know. Let's just read C. Yeah, let's just read C, and let's just try to finish the lesson. I'm really sorry for being distracted. It wasn't my intention. It's just that I draw. It's Sunday today. Shops are not working. This morning I drove like 20, 30 kilometers into the closest big city to buy food for this dog. um, I didn't have to do that, but I wanted the dog to feel okay. You know, it wasn't too hard for me to drive to another city and get her food. And it should have been a happy moment that the owner found the dog. But when I hear that the dog didn't happily jump into his car, now I'm annoyed even more than when I thought that the dog was completely lost. You know, this is worse than it has been until now in my head. It would be a nice happy end if the dog happily jumped into his car. That would be very nice. Truly. One more time. A declaration only describes a feature but does not create it. So repeating a declaration does not do much harm but adds redundancy. Clearly, it would become really confusing. Oh, sorry, identifiers may have several consistent declarations. Clearly, it would become really confusing for us and the compiler if there were several contradicting declarations for the same identifier in the same part of the program. So generally, this is not allowed. C is quite specific about what the same part of the program is supposed to mean. The scope is a part of the program where an identifier is visible. Alexei has a popular opinion. Uh, I need to show you something. Yeah, there is a picture that I'm really not supposed to show on stream. I sent some pictures to Alexei on Telegram because I don't have Matrix on my phone. Um, one more thing. Okay. Takeaway. Declarations are bound to the scope in which they appear. The scopes of identifiers are unambiguously described by the grammar. In listing 1.1, we have declarations in different scopes. A is Telegram is blocked as well. Okay, I'll show you later. A is visible inside the definition of the function main, starting at its declaration on line 8 and ending with the closing curly brace on line 24 of the innermost open curly brace. No, of the innermost curly brace pair compound statement that contains that declaration. I has more restricted visibility. It is bound to for construct in which it is declared. Its visibility reaches from that declaration on line 16 to the end of the curly brace group or pair. Compound statement that is associated with the for on line 21. If you don't understand something that you read, better ask. Well, it's this part is actually not difficult. A is visible inside the definition of the function main, starting at its declaration on line 8 and ending blah 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 with the closed curly. Okay, so A uh, variable is visible inside the function main. So outside of the function main, we can use it again. I mean, the a variable, but it won't have any value because it's contained within the function. That doesn't sound illogical at all. And I is more restricted in visibility because it is bound to the for construct. So it's inside the for loop. Basically, int I will only be visible inside those curly braces. Yes. I mean, as far as I understand, we can use A and I outside, but we will have to define them again, and it will not be the same A or the same I if we define it outside of these boundaries where they are used right now. So either we should use another variable so that we don't get confused, or whatever, you know. Global scope and scope of functions, yes. But basically this is not, I mean, this is not C, it's in many programming languages. So from that perspective, it's nicely explained as a reminder or the repeater, I suppose. Main is not enclosed in any other compound statement, so it is visible from its declaration onward until the end of the file. argc and argv are not enclosed inside curly braces, but they are inside the normal parentheses that marked main as being a function. They are parameters of the function, and their scope starts as their respective declaration and then spans the whole curly braces group body of their function here of main. Okay, that is a little bit of a mouthful. Okay, so how do we read this? Int main starts here, and actually int main technically starts here where the curly brace is. That's the content of int main byte, but the what is this part here that defines int main? Int main is of type integer with, Alexis says, basically identifiers are visible from the place they are defined and until the end of their corresponding block. Okay, that is certainly a nice, or maybe nicer way to put it. But where I am stuck right now is how do we read the, is this like a definition of int main? Here we declare main as integer. Okay, that's this part. But what about integer argc? That part. I mean the entire parenthesis. It's both declaration and definition. What goes before the opening curly brace? It means declaration. Okay, so what are we technically declaring here? I think, I'm sorry if you all know this already, but I want to understand it properly. Random a name, welcome in. argc and argv are used to receive command line arguments in the main function. For example, program hello world. Oh, like, oh, that's like strings in bash. String 1 in bash, string 2 in bash. So parameters when firing up the program. We can now declare argc as integer, okay? And the second one may be unused, which is a little bit differently defined. Main is declared as a function which returns int, first int, yes. That's what it returns at the end of the program. And has two arguments, argc of type integer as well, and argv as character, okay, pointer and array. Array of characters. Okay, okay. I think I'm getting there. Thank you, all three of you in chat. I think we are here. Okay, argc and argv are not enclosed, but they are inside the parentheses that marked main as being a function. They are parameters of the function. Okay, now that makes more sense. And their scope starts at their respective declaration and then spans the whole parentheses, curly brace body of their function here of main. Okay. Alexis says, for example, double max, double value 1, double value 2 is a declaration of a function called max, which returns double and has two parameters. Yeah. Okay. It sits properly now. It sits properly now. Thank you. There may be the need for I wanted to say reminding, doing this a couple more times just to reiterate. Yes, there may be a little bit more need to practice this before it leaks out of my mind. The first two and the last types of scope are called block scope, with a block being structure in the grammar that encapsulates such declarations. A function like main, together with its parameter list enclosed in parentheses, and the whole body enclosed in the curly brace pair group, forms a single block of its own. The for construct forms a primary block, and the loop body, usually also given with surrounding curly braces, forms a secondary block. You can see that blocks are nested. The block of main contains the primary block of the for loop, which in turn contains its secondary block. The for loop. mosquitoes. Mosquito has been moved to dev null. Okay, the for loop is here. I think there is a key combo to go back. Well, now I remember that we were on page 14, so were we on page 14? Okay, the third type of scope is used for the name main itself, which is not inside parentheses or inside curly braces pair, is called file scope. Identifiers in file scope are often referred to as globals. Check Go menu. Back, like Alt Shift left. Alt Shift left. Yeah, it works. Thank you. It still gets me a little bit confused. Where exactly did it put me? I lost my track. Maybe I should draw something like we have been here. Another mosquito. Great. The third type of scope is used for the domain itself, which is not inside parentheses or curly brace pair, is called file scope. Identifiers in file scope are often referred to as globals. So our seemingly simple program has 4 nested levels of scopes: file scope and 3 nested blocks. Now let's go with definitions. Generally, declarations only specify the kind of object an identifier refers to, and not what the concrete value of an identifier is, nor where the object it refers to can be found. This important role is filled by a definition. So the takeaway says declarations specify identifiers, whereas definitions specify objects. We will later see that things are a little more complicated in real life, but for now we can make the simplification that we will always initialize our variables. An initialization is a grammatical construct that augments a declaration and provides an initial value for the object. For instance, size underscore ti equals 0, semicolon. So that is definitely a initialization. Okay, we already know that. So for instance, this is a declaration of I such that the initial value is 0. In C, such a declaration with an initializer also defines the object with the corresponding name. That is, it instructs the compiler to provide storage in which the value of the variable can be stored. And the takeaway says an object is defined at the same time it is initialized. Our box visualization can now be completed with a value 0 in this example, size t0. A is a bit more complex because it has several components. Let's see how it is. So the source code says double A in square brackets where it says number 5. So basically A of the type double in square brackets 5, meaning 5 pieces of the array equals, so inside curly braces, the first one, meaning, I'm a bit confused. Why is it, wait, can we define it? I remember now that we have had this in the example on the previous lesson, but why is it 0, 1, 4, and 3? It can be any number, right? It doesn't have to be from 1 to 4. We have an array of 5 positions and they start with 0 and 1, but are not really in a row. So the 0, they made a typo in this. I don't think they made a typo. Or maybe they did. Now I see here that they actually might have done a typo. Do you have experience in any other programming language? Hello from Republika Srpska. Zdravo brate ili sestro, ne vidim po avataru. Not a typo. Do I have experience in other programming languages? I tried to explain it in the beginning of the stream. I do and I don't is both the correct answer. Because previously I have been programming as a kid in BASIC and in high school in Turbo Pascal and later on PHP and what else was it? There was something else, but each time when I would try to teach myself programming, I would always try to learn in a very similar way as large language models are being trained today. And I'm drawing this parallel because this is the first time I'm learning like properly, by properly understanding what is what, because previously I was really self-taught and I didn't understand. That's the wrong thing to say. I was going to say that I didn't understand what is a construct, but in essence, I never heard of a construct because the way I was self-taught was that I would look at some examples and I would just figure out from examples how things work, you know, and that's not a proper way to learn. That's why I struggle now with all of the definitions. But generally, I understand the skeleton of programming. That's where I am. I understand the skeleton and I'm trying to build from here. if you have 5 elements, Alexei says, then you can initialize values this way in any order. It's called designated initializer. So you can skip number 2 if you want. 2 is default initialized, which indeed will be 0 because it's not defined here. Programmer vocabulary can be confusing. Islet thought it would panic, so he always filled it in with something. I suppose that's fine, but if you are aware that you can avoid defining it and it will work just fine, then why not use this to your advantage? I think the book is doing a good job in explaining this. Maybe if I didn't talk so much, I would realize that number 2 is not only missing here, but is also defined as 0, 0. So from this, it is pretty easy to deduct what is going on here. My friend from Serbia says, good luck. C is a great language to learn for the start. I have to go study for exams now, but I'll maybe join the stream another time. Okay, so neighbor from Serbia, we are doing this every Sunday at 7 in the evening. And also you will see eventually that I have like a scheduled stream, so you can click something on YouTube like remind me when the stream goes live. Also, we have a matrix room. Let me just type that here. Does this still work? I don't remember. We have a matrix room which is listed somewhere down below below the video. You can join the chat any day in the week. We chat too much, I think. And we also have a forum on forum.linuxrenaissance.com where we talk about stuff. You'll see if you join. Nice to have you. Have a pleasant evening with learning. I have a self-hosted matrix instance, but I haven't enabled federations yet. I'll join when I finish configuring it. Okay, good. That works as well. Okay, goody. So let me just try to explain this for myself. So we have a variable which is of type double, 5 pieces in the array. The first one is 0 of the type double, of course. Number 1 is 2.9 double. Number 2 is undefined, so that one is 0.0. The third one is defined at the end, but it is also 0.00007. So you missed my example above. I'm just trying to read for myself. But yeah, you're right, I missed it. Take this double A5 equals in the curly braces 3.0, 5.1, 4.9. See that there are no square brackets in the initializer. Then elements will be initialized in the order they appear, but in your example we have 5 pieces of the array, so I suspect the last 2 will simply be 0. Okay, number 3 here says double last zero will be the last two will be zero indeed. Okay, thank you. 3 is double 0.000. What is the name of this character? Apostrophe. Okay, 3 zeros apostrophe another 0 7. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I understand the math here, but let's get to the math a bit later because I'm not that good with math, and eventually it will become clearer as I will need to use actual math. Position 4, 3.0. I guess it's just thousands separated for readability. Okay. Okay. The form of the initializer we see here is called designated. A pair of brackets with an integer designates which item of the array is initialized with the corresponding value. For example, the fourth position with this number sets the last item of the array A to the value of that number, so 3.e plus 25. As a special rule, any position that is not listed in the initializer is set to 0. So kudos to our friend Alexei for telling us this up front, because I really think it's good when we kind of chew on the content properly and it really fits in terms of knowledge into each other brain here, and then the text tells us the same thing, and then we are we know this already. In our example, the missing second position is filled with 0.0. So take away missing elements in initializers default to 0. Have you heard that? You might have noticed that array positions indices start with 0 for the first element and not 1. Think of an array positions as the distance of the corresponding array element from the start of the array. So distance 0 is the first one. Takeaway. For an array with n elements, the first element has index 0 and the last has index n minus 1. I need to make some notes. Okay. I like to say offset. Offset sounds good as well. They said distance. Offset. Yeah, offset seems a little bit better. Tiny bit better. For a function, we have a definition as opposed to only a declaration if its declaration is followed by braces, curly braces, containing the code of the function. I need to read the sentence once again. For a function, we have a definition as opposed to only a declaration if its declaration is followed by braces containing the code of the function. I don't understand. What is this sentence trying to say? For a function, we have a definition if its declaration is followed by braces containing the code of the function. In our example, so far we have seen names for two different features, objects I and A, and functions main and printf, in contrast to object or function declaration, where several are allowed for the same identifier. Definitions of objects or functions must be unique. That is, for a C program to be operational, any object or function used must have a definition. Otherwise, the execution would not know where to look for them. And there must be no more than one definition. Otherwise, the execution could become inconsistent. So the takeaway says each object or function must have exactly one definition. We shall go with statements now. The second part of the main function consists primarily of statements. Alexis says double neg double val is function declaration. Double neg double val return val is a function definition. Okay, so it's more like explaining the human vocabulary. Trying to say what is what. So declaration is the part so declaration is the part with the parentheses, and function definition is when there is something in curly braces. Alexis says in declaration you only declare that is not a function which returns this type and has these parameters, but you don't present what it does. Okay, it will sit. It will sit eventually. The second part of the main function consists primarily of statements. Statements are instructions that tell the compiler what to do with identifiers that have been declared so far. So we have the for loop, and how did we say function declaration? So let's declare the for, well, its function. I'm getting confused. Why is 4 a function? Because it is. It's just called 4. It's not a function. Is it not a function when we have curly braces? Oh, it's not because something is missing here. This is just a part of the function, a snippet from the code above. Okay, sorry. This is a part of the program from before. Okay, so it is a for loop. Curly braces only define a block. Function body is a block, but also for loop body is also a block. Okay. The second part of the main function, which is here, consists primarily of statements. Statements are instructions that tell the compiler what to do with identifiers that have been declared so far. So we have the for loop and the return. In other words, Alexei says, curly braces are used to combine many statements into one construct. We have already discussed the lines that correspond to the call to printf. There are also other types of statements for and the return and an increment operation indicated by the operator plus plus, and that's the end of the sentence. In the following subsection, we will go a bit into the details of 3 categories of statements. Iterations, do something several times. Function calls, delegate execution somewhere else. And function returns, resume execution from where a function was called. Okay, iteration. The for statement tells the compiler that the program should execute the printf line a number of times. This is the simplest form of domain iteration that C has to offer. It has 4 different parts. The secondary block, here a compound statement marked by curly braces that follows the 4 parentheses, is the code that is to be repeated. It is also called the loop body. The other 3 parts are those inside the parentheses part divided by semicolons. Alexi says, I feel like information is presented in a bit too condensed form. You might feel overwhelmed, but remember takeaway 1, don't panic. Okay. Okay, we loop the body in the curly braces. Yes. The other three parts are those inside the parentheses, divided by semicolons. The declaration, definition, and initialization of the loop variable I, which we already discussed. This initialization is executed once before any of the rest of the entire for statement. A loop condition I is less than 5 specifies how long the for iteration should continue. This tells the compiler to continue iterating as long as I is strictly less than 5. The loop condition is checked before each execution of the loop body. Okay, this part is actually clear. Another statement plus I is executed after each iteration. In this case, it increases the value of I by 1 each time so that we can work with loop condition. If we put all of these parts together, we ask the program to perform the code in the secondary block 5 times, setting the value of I to 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 respectively in each iteration. The fact that we can identify each iteration with a specific value for I makes this an iteration over the domain 0 up until 4. There is more than one way to do this in C, but 4 is the easiest, cleanest, and best tool for the task. Domain iterations should be coded with a for statement. I need to make another note. Okay. A for statement can be written in several other ways. Often people place the definition of the loop variable somewhere before the for, or even reuse the same variable for several loops. Don't do that. To help an occasional reader and the compiler understand your code, it is important to know that this variable has the special meaning of an iteration counter for that given for loop. So the takeaway says the loop variable should be defined in the initial part of a for. Is this clear to you guys? And I'm only asking because it's kind of, I'm not sure if they're trying to repeat what they already said, or am I misunderstanding it? Because this entire block feels like it has already been said above. but not the way that they describe it. Ask again. I'm just a little bit confused if this has been repeated twice. A for statement can be written in several other ways. A for statement can be written in several other ways than the default one. Often people place the definition of the loop variable somewhere before the for, or even reuse the same variable for several loops. Don't do that. Don't pay too much attention to that. Okay. Function calls. Function calls are special statements that suspend the execution of the current function. At the beginning, this is usually main, and then hand over control to the named function. In our example, printf. In our example, the called function is printf. A function call usually provides more than just the name of the function. It also provides arguments. Here, these are the long chain of characters I, A and I in the square brackets, and then A with the I in square brackets, and this is the pointer of the A and I in the square brackets. Sorry for reading this in a dumb way, but it is what it is. The values of these arguments are passed over to the function. In this case, these values are the information that is printed by printf. Oh, this is multiplication. Yeah, this could get confusing. Oh, that's not a space. Okay, sorry. It looked like a space to me from one weird angle. Don't panic. No worries. The values of these arguments are passed over to the function. In this case, these values are the information that is printed by printf. The emphasis here is on value. Although I is an argument, printf will never be able to change I itself. A C in general doesn't care about spaces. Okay. Printf will never be able to change I itself. Such a mechanism is called call by value. Other programming languages also have call by reference, a mechanism where the called function can change the value of a variable. When we get to pointers, you'll feel more comfortable. C does not implement pass by reference. Instead, it has another mechanism to pass the control of a variable to another function by taking addresses and transmitting pointers. We will see this mechanism much later. Guys, where is that pizza? I'm hungry. Like, seriously, I'm hungry. If someone can send something, I will be grateful. You have a good but expensive delivery service, no? Yeah, that's my mother. I can try, but she could get angry if I call her multiple times because she's not in this house. I am currently in our future house that is currently being built. Actually, my father is building it, and she's down the street in a different house. I sent her a message. It's 10 p.m. after all. Now it's too late. Maybe I can delete the message still. Okay. Message deleted. Function return. The last statement in main is a return. It tells the main function to return to the statement that it was called from once it is done. Here, since main has integer in its declaration, a return must send back a value of the type integer to the calling statement. In this case, that value is exit success. Even though we can't see its definition, the printf function must contain a similar return statement. At the point where we call the function on line 17, the execution of the statements in the main is temporarily suspended. The execution continues of the printf function until a return is encountered. After the return from printf, the execution of the statements in main continues from where it stopped. So here is some kind of drawing which is explained below. I'm just checking it out before I start reading. Process startup main has a function call. Nope. What is nope? Oh, that's the answer to ice blade. Okay. Let's read the explanation. Figure 2.1 shows a view of the execution of our little program, its control flow. First, a process startup routine on the left, provided by our platform, calls the user provided function main in the middle. Press Ctrl M. Oh, I hope it's not too small. Okay, what we already read, a process startup routine on the left provided by our platform calls the user provided function main in the middle. That in turn calls printf, a function that is part of the C library on the right. Once a return is encountered there, control returns back to main. And when we reach the return in main, it passes back to the startup return. Startup routine, sorry. The latter transfer of control from a programmer's point of view is the end of the program's execution. C distinguishes the lexical structure, the punctuators, identifiers, and numbers by the grammatical structure or syntax and the semantics, the meaning of programs. All identifiers or names must be declared so we know the properties of the concept they represent. All objects or things that we deal with and functions or methods that we use to deal with things must be defined. That is, we must specify how and where they come to be. Statements indicate how things are going to be done. Iterations for repeat variations of certain tasks. Function calls, printf, delegate a task to a function, and function returns something. Go back where we came from. with a little bit of dog talk. Do you guys have anything I should go back to? Maybe read again? Honestly, what I feel right now is not any confusion, but desire to try to repeat um, something like a code example from the last time, but not that exact one. Something of a similar difficulty. I have the need to create some small-ish code. Now questions. But it's better to be done on Matrix because YouTube comments are not good. We don't have questions. I'll write a message after the stream. Okay. Would you care, Alexei, to write it down on the forum? Does that seem like a good idea, or do you want it to make more dynamic conversation or something? Do I have questions? Not really. What I wanted to do with this topic here, I wanted to add, not today. I don't think I will have enough energy today, but I can try. I was thinking about putting some code and just highlighting what is what in the code from what I learned in the lesson today. They're not the same code, some other code that I will, let's say, invent. But okay, we can go to Matrix. I still have some energy remaining today. I will not stay in this house. I'll go to another house, to my room, and fire up Matrix chat again and see where we're at. Did you think about doing this today or tomorrow? It's not urgent. I'll write today, but it doesn't matter. Also defined today. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's still Sunday, both for me and for you, so. By the way, guys, how does this microphone sound to you today, except for the echo in this room? Alexei's summertime means that he's 1 hour ahead of me, so it's 10:16 here, so it's 11:16 for him. You think even echo is hardly noticeable? Okay, okay. I mean, this room is really. I'll show it to you. It's the worst. The room is very untreated, and these are more than half-meter stones. Yeah, Americans would be really surprised if they saw this. It's the stones are like this fat, each piece. Well, maybe even more. I don't know how much is half a meter. Roughly like this, I think. So a little bit more. Also, this mic is, I think, dynamically adjusting my volume. I think if I put it like really far away, I think my voice is not that much lower of the volume, but maybe it picks up more of the noise around. So closer is always better. This was supposed to be for the interviews, but it serves me really well here because my home streaming microphone is pretty bulky and it requires a I would need to unscrew a lot of stuff from my table at home in order to take it with me. It got lower and more echo. Yeah, that's how it should be. You know, even if I go really close, now I can decrease the level of my voice, and now there should be even less echo, I think. I'm not sure, but I can see in my VU meter that I'm still not going into the red, and I have intentionally decreased the level of my voice so that I don't blow out the mic capsule. But generally, I think this is too close for any microphone. So in theory, this should be fine. Like from here, it seems to compensate. Yeah. This should be like ideal distance. Anyways, guys, let's go move to Matrix. It's a good mic. Yeah, okay. Dogs. Who let the dogs out? I could even walk down the road and stream from a laptop because none of this is connected to anything. My hotspot is wireless. My laptop is not connected to anything. My microphone is not connected to anything. So I could, in theory, walk down the road and stream from the laptop. It would be shitty because this camera is not that good. See you later then. No questions? We will compensate. No questions. Do you feel the benefits of a wireless life? One of the benefits is I don't know if you have seen my Darth Vader video. The video where I was talking about I don't know what it was. I was walking outside where Darth Vader was drawn on the wall. I have this little microphone here, so in theory I can talk into that one. That one is wireless together with this one here, and this one is plugged with a cable into the laptop, so it's like an input source and like a transmitter receiver. But also this receiver is also receiving from this one. So when I was recording outside, this was really handy because this is a little bit too bulky to take with me all the time, and this is really small, so I can take it with me anywhere. Iceblade, good night. You know, so I can put my camera away from me and have like a nice angle of something behind me and talk into the mic really up close so that the sound is really good. Because if I put my phone really far away, then the phone's microphone will not pick me up. I would have to yell and it would be pretty shit. This fixes all my outdoor needs when I'm alone. But also that one should be good for interviews and like, I don't know. I mean, the biggest benefit of this mic is that right now it is wireless in terms of this receiver is picking it up. But at the same time, this mic can be more than wireless because it has internal memory, and I can go around record from any distance from the phone, because later on I can just take the recording from the microphone memory and slap it onto the video that the phone has recorded, you know. So I'm not limited with the range of the receiver. One of the ideas that I had, I could get a drone and record myself from the air. It doesn't have to be for my YouTube channel. It can be from other kind of fun recordings, you know. But just using the mega wireless microphone seems like a good idea when the drone is flying around. I don't really care about the range. Golga Katani, goodbye, and well, I'm leaving as well, so thank you very much everyone for hanging out. See you next Sunday.